We are we are here live with Eric Spellmann, and he is. I always love this webinars with him because he's public speaker extraordinaire. But I can't say enough about him because he gives us such great information on topics to help our small businesses, especially here in New Mexico. Today we have 10 power words to use in emails and what was the other one? We want to
Social
use
media. Yeah.
social media, of course, social media. How can I forget that? Anyway, we ask everyone to type their questions into the Q&A. He picks them up all the way through, so don't be shy, type away. And with that, Eric, take it away.
Okay. Well, once again, thank you very much. I'm very excited about this topic because, so many people think of marketing as like magic. Marketing is like voodoo, and, with the right marketing, you can make people buy what you sell. Well, it's kind of true. If you understand words have meaning. And if you use the right words, then you can definitely, and I mean definitely, affect how people respond. So without further ado, we're going to go into 10 power words to use in email and social media. Now, as always with my presentations, please ask questions at any time. Just go up into the Q&A and ask, and I'll see it, and I'll be happy to answer. Don't wait for me to say, are there any questions? Because I have a lot to cover. And I'm just going to keep on going. But don't worry, we have time for questions, so please ask. Okay, so let's jump right into it. You got to realize that language matters. Okay, language truly matters. All advertising, all marketing has to do with language, and words have meaning. But you've also got to realize that people you're talking to, the people you're writing to, are changing. And the internet is to blame for a lot of that. The amount of patience people have is going down. In other words, in the old days, we were taught, like say in high school by our English teacher, she would say, write a half page or write a 2-page, double-spaced report. So our goal wasn't, let's focus on the content of what I'm writing. No, your goal was quantity. Your goal was writing a whole bunch of words to fill 2 pages and make it look like cohesive. Okay. So the way you did that was you used a lot of big words. We all tend to write to impress. We don't write to communicate. Well, when it comes to advertising, when it comes to marketing, you've got to write to communicate. In fact, you've got to take it a step further. You've got to write to cause people to take action. So realize that people have little patience for this anymore. And a lot of that is due to video. YouTube kind of did a lot of this. People would rather watch a YouTube video on how to fix, a leak in their sink rather than reading a blog on how to fix a leak in their sink. They would rather watch than read. And if they're going to have to read, well, you better get to the point. And that's what people want today. There's so much data out there. There's so much information wanting a piece of our mind that we have to be particular. We have to start discriminating on what information even comes into our head. So anyone who can explain something faster, shorter, and easier to understand, we're going to go with. It's no longer about who can write a 50-page article on how to, fix your sink when a 30-second video would have done the same. So realize people's patience with all this is wearing thin. And so you got to write and get to the point. Twitter proves it. I mean, when Twitter came out, that's where we got to the point. Before it became this big political thing, Twitter was very popular because you only had at the time like 140 characters you could type, 140 letters of the alphabet, including spaces. And so it forced people to get to the point. There was no, what are they trying to say? What are they implying? What are they inferring? They got to the point because they didn't have that much space to write. And that's why people liked it, especially for news, because you could digest it in little bite-sized pieces. Well, psychology proves it too. Like I said, words have meaning, and different words can create emotions in people. Saying the right word at the right time can create emotions. It's kind of like a movie. Writing the right script can make people cry. Using the right words, someone telling you something, asking you to marry them, using the right words will evoke an emotion. So you've got to realize language matters. You've also got to realize that when people are reading things, so let's say that you do make a web page or a post or something like that, when they are reading your text, the first time they see your text, they're not reading it word for word. They're not going word by word and reading your text. What they're doing is they're scanning. It's kind of like what I tell people when they land on your website for the very first time, you've got about 5 seconds because they're only going to give you 5 seconds. They're going to scan from the top left portion of that screen down to the bottom right. And what they're looking for is a word, a phrase, a title, a keyword, something that says they're in the right place. And if they find that, then they will go back and actually read all the words. We've trained ourselves to do that. School didn't train us to do that, really. We trained ourselves to do that because there's such a sheer amount of information competing for our memory and our tongue, a sheer amount. So we scan to speed things up, and we only go back and read if our scan proves useful. That's why using the right words is key, because you want people to land on those words, to focus on those words and go, oh yeah. So let me give you an example of how power words work. And we're going to use it, in this case, lead generation. So let's say you're a realtor. In other words, you're a person who sells houses, and you help other people buy houses as well. Uh, you have houses to sell, but all you have is this link on your website, house valuation. That's it. Or you post it on social media, house valuation. And if they click on it, it goes to a form where they can fill it out and get information on what their house is worth, which ends up being a lead for you. My point is this: look at house valuation. Look at that. There is nothing that makes me want to click there. Nothing whatsoever. So let's change it up a little bit. And I'm going to slowly improve that phrase, house evaluation or house valuation, word by word until we get there. And using that, we will learn some really cool tricks about these words. So rule number one when it comes to writing and choosing your words, tell people what to do. Tell people what to do. Keep in mind, we are taught from birth to obey. Okay? In other words, from our very earliest memories, we are taught to obey what an adult tells us to do. And that's a lot of that's because of safety and security. They don't want us to burn our hand on a stove. They don't want us to run away and get lost. I mean, adults tell us what to do and we follow what they do, or else there's ramifications. And so in our head, and some of you aren't going to agree with me on this, but trust me, this is so true. If you tell people what to do, they're probably going to do it unless they have a reason not to. Let me say that again. If you tell someone to do something, they will probably do it unless they have a reason not to. Don't be polite. I hate it when people say, please visit our website. Please buy a hamburger from us. No, no, no. We're not polite in marketing. We tell people what to do. You buy now. Don't miss out. Join us. Get down here now. It's not that we're saying it angry, we're saying it with authority. And we're not offering them an option not to. Did you hear that? Never give people the option of not choosing your product or service. It's so funny. I'm asked to evaluate websites all the time. And a lot of times I'll just go through their text if I'm really doing a deep dive, and I'll read kind of what their marketing says. And you'd be surprised how many times in writing, people feel like they have to be quote, fair and balanced in their own advertising? No, no, you don't. Don't give people reasons not to buy your product. Okay. Uh, Now, don't lie to them. Don't get me wrong. If there is a significant negative to your product, make sure they know about it, but don't highlight it. Don't make it a part of the sales process. Okay. I want to know why to buy your product. Okay. Don't be polite. Tell them what to do. Don't say please. So let's apply that to our little phrase. So instead of home valuation, let's change it to get a home valuation. You see what we did there? We didn't say, please click here so you can get your home value. No, we didn't say that at all. We said, get a home valuation. Get it. We told them what to do. And you'd be surprised how many people do that. I remember when the internet first came out and they were figuring out online sales and how a store could sell online. And Amazon was one of the newcomers to this. This is before they were big. And they decided they were going to be the number one end all be all place to buy and sell online. Well, when they created their store online, one of the first things they did was they put the word catalog. Okay. They put the word catalog, and that was a link. And if you clicked on it, you could see all the products they sold. But they discovered if they changed it to view our catalog, it got a little better. They got more clicks. And if they changed it to shop, it got even better. Because a lot of times people would put the word buy next to something, and the word buy is such a bad word. You never want to use B-U-Y on a website or in social media, because it implies that they're having to make a decision. It implies that you can't go back. It implies, so Amazon discovered, don't put buy buttons on everything, because grandma's afraid to click on it because she thinks that that commits her. So instead they use the word shop. See, shopping is easy. Shopping is, you have a choice. I can take things out of my shopping cart. I can put them up. Shopping is fun. We like to shop. Buying costs money, but shopping is fun. So they decided to call it shop. And to just add a little bit more to it, they use the word now. So shop now. And that's why on most online stores today, you see those two words. You don't see catalog. You don't see products. You see shop now, because they've discovered people will do what you tell them to do, and they'll do it when you tell them to do it. Y'all think I'm kidding. And you think you're like, Eric, that's not me. I don't fall for that. Shut up. Yes, you do. Okay. We all do. We're programmed to. And yes, when you're a marketer, when you're an advertiser, you can see through that. You can see that and maybe be able to step outside the advertising and look at it for what it is. But it still affects you, especially if it's a product or service that you truly, truly want. Me telling you to do something to get it, chances are you'll do it, even if you know what I'm doing. So notice how we changed it from home valuation to get a home valuation. A little bit better. You're going to get more clicks on that. But let's take it a step further. Another power word is you. The word you. When you make it personal, when you connect it to your customer, it connects in their brain. They immediately start seeing themselves doing the action or themselves using the product. They see themselves doing it because you labeled them, you included them, you drug them into this by using the word you. It doesn't matter unless it matters to you. Remember that. Every decision you make in your life, if you can't connect it to yourself, you won't make the decision. If you see that as for someone else, you won't do it. So as a marketer, as an advertiser, I've got to, as quickly as possible, connect it to you so that you see it as you. Okay. Like I said, if you have any questions, ask them in the Q&A. So let's add this to our little phrase we're trying to get people to click on. Get your home valuation. So instead of saying get a home valuation, we said get your home valuation. You see what we did there? Now they start thinking about their home. Now they start thinking about it connected to them. They don't care about anyone else's home. They care about their home. Always make it personal. Always talk to customers like they're across the desk from you. And I never like the phrase our customers. Like if I'm a business, I never like using that phrase, our customers. I always like to say you. I'm always talking to the customer, not about the customer. If you say things like, our customers love us and our customers love to do this, our customers love to do that, that's okay. But it's going to be more powerful if you say you. You will love to do this. You will love to do that. You will love how we did this. You will love the color of this, blah, blah, blah. Make it personal every time. Use active verbs. Now, remember from English class what a verb is. Okay. A noun is a person, place, or thing, and a verb is an action. Okay. What we want to do is use active verbs. Now, there's active verbs and passive verbs. Passive verbs are like is, was, are, things like that. Okay. You know, even the word get, they don't create a picture really. They're more of a, they're used in sentences to connect things together. Okay. That's really all they are. Whereas a word should paint a mental picture. A word should be active. Active verbs spark thought. So a good example of an active verb is, if I were to say this, how about this? He is coming over here. Or I said, he is jogging over here. Which one creates the bigger picture? Jogging, of course. Okay. If I said, this is nice, or I said something like, um, well, just be active is what I'm saying. Don't try using is, was, are. It's a lazy form of writing. And I had an English teacher tell me that one time. And many times, if you look back through your writing and you see a lot of is's and was's, uh, and are and were and things like that, that's very lazy because it doesn't help. And they're very boring words. They're extremely boring words. They do get the point across, but they're boring. They don't paint a mental picture. Okay. I would rather blast off to the moon than go to the moon, if that makes sense. Okay. And also, active verbs are obeyed more. They truly are. Active verbs are obeyed more because you connected with them. When think about it, what is the one reason you like a book that you've read? You know, you like some books over other books. It's because you get lost in the book. Now, what does that mean? You get lost. The book connected with you. The words created such a mental picture in your head. The author's use of words, and I'm including active verbs. You go back and look at your favorite books you've ever read, and you will find they are chock full of active verbs, full of them. Sometimes editors will even go back to authors and edit more active verbs into there just to create a more compelling story. If you want to make your writing exciting, use active verbs, verbs that create a picture in your head. So in our case, how about this? Discover your home's valuation. Do you see how discover your home's valuation is better than get your home's valuation? I can't emphasize enough how important using an active verb is. And yeah, it's going to take a little more work. It's going to take a little more thought. And chances are you might even have to use a thesaurus. Okay. Which tells you what words mean the same. But remember, we're not trying to impress people with language. We're not trying to come up with big words just for the sake of big words like we did in high school, or we're trying to impress the English teacher. So we would use a big word when we could have used an easier word. Which is the next point. Valuation, really? Discover your home's valuation. What is a valuation? You follow me? You see, That is an industry word. In the realtor market, if you're a realtor, you use that word all the time. You talk about the valuation of this, the valuation of that. And home valuations are part of your language, your day-to-day language. But the people you serve aren't necessarily going to use that. In fact, believe it or not, they may not even know what valuation means. It's a relatively unused word if you think about it. And people tend to use words that are easier to understand. So valuation, really, I tell people, you need to keep the wording on what you're doing at about a 5th grade level. Why 5th grade? 5th grade is basically how we all speak. I don't care whether you have a doctorate in anything, or if you didn't even graduate high school. We all typically talk at a 5th grade level. 5th grade level is how we talk to get our points across. In fact, I'm talking to you right now at a 5th grade level. I'm not speaking and I'm not using words to impress you. I'm using words to communicate. So I'm using easy words so that you don't have to go through and think, what did he mean by that? Once again, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm trying to communicate. I'm trying to connect with you. So use simpler words and try not to use a lot of the words that you use in your business a lot, that only people in your business use a lot. Okay? I mean, that's just so clunky. It's so clunky. So instead of discover your home's valuation, how about discover how much your home is worth? You're saying, well, Eric, that got longer. We had one word. Now we have a whole bunch. Yeah, but you can more easily read that phrase. You can read it faster and understand it faster than simply replacing it with that one word valuation. I'm telling you, it's true. Stop writing to impress, because all you're doing is boring people. And in some cases, making them feel stupid if they don't know what the word means. And people who feel too stupid to read what you're marketing feel too stupid to buy from you. I'm not kidding. If you make someone feel stupid, they will not buy from you. And you're not even meaning to. You're not even meaning to do it on purpose. You're trying to what? Write professionally? Writing professionally means writing at a 5th grade level. Writing for comprehension, not writing to impress. That's why we talk the way we do. Okay, can you speak to the use of exclamation points by Monica? Great question, Monica. Grammar is also very good, okay? And grammar can create emotion, because you're going to see this a little later, but every buying decision is based on emotion. We say it's based on logic. It ain't based on logic. You don't buy based on logic. No one does that. We lie to ourselves and say that to justify it. But we all buy on emotion. You buy because you want it. And you want it because you convinced yourself of it. And you feel that by getting it, you're going to feel happy. You're going to feel good. You have a good feeling about this. We all buy on emotion. No one buys based on the logic of something. Okay? We say we do, but like I said, we say that to justify it. Okay? When it comes to exclamation points, you're basically inferring excitement. Oops, I had too far ahead there. Whoop. Let's go back. Whoop. Yeah. When you buy based on exclamation points, you create an emotion in their head. They can actually see it happening. They will actually see someone being excited. If I put like down there, look at the bottom, discover how much your home is worth. Like, wow, that's exciting. I do want to know that. Okay. Questions. I'm not a big fan of questions unless you're trying to get their interest. Never put question marks about your own product, because all that does is create questions about your product. Okay. In other words, you would never say something like, does our product stand up to the rest? Never write that. Never write that, because all you've done is put that question into their head. Like, oh, maybe it doesn't. See, why do that? And you're trying to be fair. but it really, you're just planting reasons for them not to choose you. Okay. But questions can be useful to get their attention and to make them think about you. Something like, when was the last time you had a truly amazing burger? See what I did there? I'm not saying anything about my burger. I'm implying all the burgers I've eaten before mine. And they're going, you know what? You're right. I really haven't had an amazing burger in a while. So all of a sudden they're halfway to me now. They're halfway because I've got them thinking about wanting a good burger. Use the word free. I hope that answered your question, Monica, on exclamation points and question marks. And really, the other ones don't matter that much. I'll use a colon every once in a while to really make a point. Here are the features you get with our product, colon, and then list them, boom. Dashes, not really. Ellipses, the dot, 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 not really. Doesn't make much of a difference. It's really the exclamation point and the question mark that are the two pieces of um, two types of grammar that can really affect things. Punctuation was the word I was looking for. Use the word free. Keep in mind that everyone wants something of value at no cost. They want something where they feel like they're receiving more value than they gave you. And so whenever you use the word free, you're implying that. You're implying that they're about to receive value. Now, some people would say, Eric, free is an overused word. We've all learned that when someone offers something, nothing can be free. Too good to be true. Sounds too, you know what I'm saying? Some of us we hear the word free and we get a little, But I'm here to tell you, most people will respond to the word free. And when it is one of the words that, remember I told you how people scan? If they see the word free, they will look at the words around it to see what's free. I don't care how much they think they are in control of themselves and not, falling for it. You see the word free. Human nature says you're going to scan the words around it to see what's free. I love the word free, but make sure that you don't use it in a way that makes people question you. Okay. So take a look at our phrase now. Discover how much your home is worth for free. Okay. A lot of realtors know that some people believe that having someone come to their house and doing a true valuation on it, doing a true, how much is it worth? They think that costs money, when in fact, that's what a realtor does for free. So that's one way of highlighting that particular feature of hiring a realtor, is by implying that it won't cost the person participating anything. Okay. I love free. I love free. I love free. Now, one of the ways you can overuse free is this: capitalizing the word free when nothing else is. That is bad. Putting the word free in the subject line, it looks like spam, because every spam message you get in email pretty much has the word free up there. So I would use the word free, but I would bold it if I was writing text, but keep it mixed case, lowercase to mixed case. Because uppercase free is just so cheesy and so questioning. I would avoid that. Promise results. If people are going to share some of their hard-earned money with you, not share, just give it to you, they want results in return. Have you promised any? It helps rationalize their decision to do business with you. Okay? We all want results. The easiest way to think of this is to think of online reviews. A lot of us, when we go online, we will look for the reviews of a product or service. And what are we wanting? We're wanting to know that someone else got results by giving you money. Follow me? We want to know that someone else had success. And so we need proof of that. And testimonials and reviews many times can be that proof. And so if someone says, yeah, bought this and now oh my gosh, it's amazing. I would highly recommend them. Basically, those results are what they're looking at. So how do you promise results? You need to give evidence of success, okay? Some people do a taste test. Many times that's evidence, the results of the taste test. But take a look at this. If I go, instead of using the word get, instead of using the word discover, listen to this. I'm going to add to it, in fact. Get top dollar by discovering your home's worth for free. Promise results. What is the result? Get top dollar. That's my result. Notice I don't say you might get top dollar. I said get top dollar. Okay? Get top dollar. I'm promising results. Immediacy. This is another big piece. And the word I'm looking for is not immediacy. That's obviously too big of a word. It's the topic. You got to realize that everyone has ADD. So they want it now. There's no more delayed gratification. Everyone wants it now. And so you've got to speak to that. So notice what I do here. Get top dollar today by discovering your home's worth for free. Promise today, immediacy. That's also how, think of it this way. Have you ever watched? In fact, if you want to understand power words, I'll just be honest with you. If you want to understand power words, if you want to understand the magic, and I almost mean true magic of words, you need to watch as many of those late night infomercials. Some of y'all are rolling your eyes now. You're like, Eric, I hate infomercials. They're so cheesy. No, they aren't. They're brilliant. And the people that write the script know exactly, they are wordsmiths. They know exactly how this works. And so you've got to realize that words have power. And when you watch the infomercials, you'll always hear this. Okay. Be the 10th caller, or be in the first 100 callers, or call within the next hour to get a blah, 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 blah. That's immediacy, like an urgency. You better do it now. Don't wait and think about it. Do it now. So I'm telling you, you can learn some of the best power words in the world by watching these things. And yeah, I've actually watched one. The copper pan one was one of my favorites. I watched that and I wrote down every power word I heard because the way they described it, the way they described the experience. They didn't even use all positive words. They used negatives. They said something like, how you hate scrubbing and scraping and throwing away the pan because you can't get it clean. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, power words they use are amazing. So use immediacy. Tell them to do it and do it now. Do it today. Don't leave it open, because what people want to do is they want to feel like they can get the same value. They can get the same discount a week from now. But here's the deal. They won't. A week from now, they'll forget you even existed. The only way infomercials work is by people taking immediate action. The only way your ads and social media work and emails work is if they take action in the moment where they're in that email, where they're on that social media post. Guarantees. Okay. Now, proven results and guarantees are a little different, so I'll stick with you on this one. Like I said earlier, the trust barrier is your number one barrier to people doing business with you online. Think about it. When you go online, when you land on someone's website for the very first time, are you immediately going to go buy their product? No. You're going to research them a little. You're going to look at reviews. Because why? You don't trust them. And it's not because you think they're evil. It's you don't know them. And we've been taught all our life, don't trust strangers. Okay? So what we have to do is we have to lower that barrier. As business owners, we have to lower the trust barrier that exists. for people to do business with us. And the words that we use can help to lower that barrier. You need to assure people of their decision. You're making the right choice. This is a good decision. People like you feel this way. You know what I'm saying? Assure them that they made a good decision, and because they don't trust you, you've got to make them feel like they trust you. So here's how you can put it in that statement. You say, we're still making it bigger and bigger. Yes, we are. But look at this piece. Get top dollar today by discovering your home's worth for free, guaranteed results. Okay. Now, some of you at this point may be wondering, how can you guarantee anything? Every company guarantees results. Every company guarantees results. In fact, a lot of companies have warranties and guarantees. Okay. And yeah, these guarantees and warranties have, clauses. They're not totally open-ended. They're not absolute. But like I said, you can guarantee results, and you define what those results are. You will see this all the time. A lot of times people will say, guaranteed or your money back. You've heard that. They're doing that because people trust a guarantee. They feel like there's no way they can lose on this decision. If I make a mistake buying this, I get my money back. Heck, I don't even have to pay shipping. They'll pay it for me. So yes, I'll take a chance and buy that. Once you've lowered the trust barrier enough, people will happily buy what you sell them. But you've got to lower it. And you've got to help assure them that they made a good decision and that the decision can be undone. Okay. Like, hey, you don't like it? You can return it in 30 days. That's a guarantee as well. Love. It's one of my favorite topics here. And that's because love is one of the best ways to sell a product. It truly is. Like I said earlier, all emotions, all decisions are emotional. Every single one. Every decision you make is an emotional one. We like to think that we do it based on logic, like we're a Mr. Spock, on Star Trek. And that we're going to look at all the pluses and we're going to look at all the minuses. But here's the deal. Be honest with me. It's just you and me here. Usually what happens is you see something on TV you want. And you did never seen it before. All of a sudden you see it and you want it. Then you have to tell yourself, no, I'm not going to fall for that. I'm going to research it. But you're not researching it. And you're not researching it with the idea that you may choose not to get it. Hear me. You are simply trying to justify what you're already going to buy. So many times, we'll see a puppy at the pound, the dog pound. We'll see a little puppy. And gosh, we want that puppy. We don't start out with, should we have a puppy? Here's the pros. Here's the negatives. We don't do that. We find something, we love it, we want it. But then if it's going to be a joint decision with someone else, we have to bring them on board. We have to convince them. So we start making an argument that looks like it's logical, looks like this. Well, our current dog, I know we already have a dog, but he gets so lonely outside and a new puppy would everyone would be happy. And I miss taking care of puppies. And you see what they're doing here? They're justifying it. They're not talking about the pluses and minuses. They're really only talking about the pluses. Because how many times, parents, has a kid convinced you to get a gerbil, a hamster, a pet, a guinea pig, a bird, something? And what do they say? We'll take care of it, right? Keep in mind, a kid will attempt to justify because they really want it. It's not that they are trying to decide whether they really want a dog or a bird or a hamster. So the way you insert love into this is you talk about how they will feel after the purchase. You talk about how they will feel once they have it. It's kind of like how Tylenol and ibuprofen and all those pain relievers sell. And it's even how any prescription drug sells today is they talk more about how you're going to feel afterward. Look, this person was stuck at home in bed, but after taking this pill, now she's playing with grandkids. Now she's out and about. Now she's doing all, see what I'm saying? They're telling them how much you will love it. You will love the difference it makes. Okay. So let's take a look at our current little phrase and see how that plays into it. Get top dollar today by discovering your home's worth for free. Guaranteed you will love our results. See what we did there? Now you're probably saying, Eric, are you going to be adding every single power word to this thing? No, that would be ridiculous. And eventually you would see this turn into a bunch, it would be so hokey as to be so obvious. So you're not going to use every power word in every situation. But what you have to do is evaluate which power words do I need. Think of your power words as like arrows in your quiver or tools in your tool chest. Every tool has a purpose, and it depends on what you need done. Choose the right tool for the right purpose. Choose the right word for the right phrase. Proven is another one of those words. It basically removes the fear of trying something new. It's kind of like guarantee, but what you're saying here is that other people have had success. It is proven. We have studies that prove it. We've done tests. Everyone who uses our product, it's proven. There's evidence. People want evidence. They want to know that it works. They don't want to be a guinea pig. They don't want to be the one to try everything. So get top dollar today by discovering your home's worth for free. Guaranteed you will love our what? Proven results. It basically says we've had success in the past. There's proof of success. People need to know that. The word save. People love the word save. And it has to do with either saving time or money. Okay. Those are the two. You're either going to save people time or money. So take a look at what we did here. Save time and get top dollar today by discovering your home's worth for free. Guaranteed you will love our proven results. Okay. So I want you to think in terms of your product. I want you to think in terms of your service. Does it help people save time or money or both? Make sure you use that as part of your selling. Make sure you use that as part of your marketing. Now, some of y'all are going, well, Eric, I run an art store, an art studio. How am I going to save people money? It's art. It's not like I'm selling a million of the same thing and I'm giving 10% off. Whenever you have something where you're really only selling one, then what you want to talk about is finding the perfect piece of art. Like save time going to all these different studios, when we have what you want, or save money by choosing an artist that is, just trying to get by, a starving artist sale. That's save money, if you ever hear that. Basically, that's code for we're saving money. You can save money and buy good art. Monica, what power words are more useful for services versus product sales? Good question. Whenever we talk about services, like for instance, let's say you're an accountant, okay? How in the world can we talk about power words for accountants? How do accountants sell themselves? Well, it's actually very simple. I've told you kind of this in other talks, but let me reiterate it here and you'll see how it connects. People only make decisions for one of two reasons. They either want something they do not currently possess, or they're trying to avoid pain. Every decision you make in life is based on only two things. You either want something you don't currently possess, greed, or you're trying to avoid pain. So I need you to think of your products and your service in terms of which ones they do. Are you saving people from feeling pain like an accountant? He does your taxes right. Guess what? You don't go to jail. Okay. So a lot of people are looking for someone who can keep them legal in their taxes or in their books. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. Services, you just have to think in terms of what you're doing and why you even exist. And remember, forget your product. One of the other things I've shared recently is this. A lot of times business owners make the mistake that people actually want their products. Remember this. No one, and I mean no one wants your product, okay? No one wants your service and no one wants your product. Some of y'all are going, what? No, they don't want your service or product. They want the value it brings. My example is always this. No one wants a shovel. They want a hole. So start thinking about the value that your product or service brings. No one wants your product or service. They need it to achieve what they really want. And when you start talking about what they really want instead of your product or service, you will sell a lot more of your product and service. Like I said, go watch the infomercials. When they're trying to sell you a pan, what do they show you? Like if everything slides out of this pan, what do they show you? They show you a grainy black and white video of someone scrubbing another pan, and just they have this awful look on their face, like I'm hating life and I can't clean this pan. I'm done. I'm going to throw it away. Follow me? So by buying this pan, this new copper pan, what? I am keeping myself from experiencing that pain. You see how this works? Think of your service or your product in terms of the value it brings and why people are buying it rather than product itself. Okay, great question. Okay, moving on. Let's see. Okay. You got to realize that words are powerful, and I mean truly powerful. People will do what you tell them to do. Okay. And I know some of y'all are like, I don't get that. That doesn't sound right. That's not how it's supposed to work. The world doesn't work like a storybook. We are humans. We have needs. We want those needs met. And if you can convince us that you can meet those needs at a cost that I'm willing to pay, I will do it. So your job as the business owner is to convince me that your product or service will meet my needs. Pam, in my nonprofit, we offer a service, but we are trying to do, here's a question. In my nonprofit, we offer a service, but what we are trying to do on social media and through emails is to encourage donations. Any special advice to try encouraging altruism? Good question. Encouraging people to do good is while in the scheme of things is a good thing to do, in the marketing world, it's awful. Okay. Telling people to be nice to others will not sell your products. You may think it's assigning some sort of emotion to you, like, wow, this company believes in good things, therefore they must be good. But it's not as strong as you think. Large companies can get away with it. Large companies can definitely say, we have a foundation that does this and all that. So, and they use that as part of their marketing. And so when you buy their product, you're actually helping these people. Yeah, I'll be honest. I would definitely, if you're a nonprofit, let's just talk about nonprofits for a second. What does a nonprofit want? What kind of leads? Nonprofits want donations. Nonprofits do not market towards the people they serve. And that's because most of the people they serve don't use the internet to find them. Okay. So we're not talking about the target population that the nonprofit is reaching out to. We're the only people nonprofits are really going after from a marketing standpoint, from an advertising standpoint, are there's two groups. You're looking for volunteers and donors. That's it. When you have your next meeting with your nonprofit, you need to say, okay, we already have enough people we can help. We have no trouble finding people to help. What we need are volunteers and donors. And you need to think, why do people do what they do? Why do people volunteer? People volunteer because it makes them feel good. I'm just being honest with you here. They don't volunteer because it is the right thing to do. They volunteer because it feels good. And you got to realize that. No one does the right thing simply because it's the right thing. They do the right thing because it makes them feel good. And remember when I told you that every decision is emotional? Now, maybe they feel good because it is the right thing. You follow me? But the point is, they do it for the feeling, whether they say so or not. Even people who do random acts of kindness and donate anonymously do it for the feeling, not for the everyone saying that they did it, but they do it for how it made them feel. Okay, so just realize from a nonprofit, how do you make a um, donor feel good? How do you make a volunteer feel good? Volunteers feel good when they feel like they're what? Making a difference. So to get volunteers, you're going to talk all about making a difference. You're going to talk all about lives that were changed. You're going to talk about testimonials. You're going to talk about how this one volunteer was able to change the lives of 20 people with just a 10-minute conversation. If you want to know how to get volunteers, watch the Big Brother, Big Sister uh, advertisements, marketing. See how they market it to get volunteers. That's what they want the most is volunteers. Donors are another issue. Donors, donors are all about uh, donors are all about getting the most amount of good for their $1. Okay, so if I want to give my $1 donation to the nonprofit that can help the most people or do the most good with that $1. So my thought on which one am I going to choose is either A, it's going to be a nonprofit that I have personal experience with, someone in my family benefited or something like that. Okay, so that's one thing. Or it's going to be which nonprofit will my dollar benefit the most people. If this nonprofit over here, my $1 will feed a family of 5 for a week, but my dollar over here will clothe a family, a village of 20. You see what I'm saying? I'm going for the biggest value for my dollar. So that's why if you want to get more donors, you talk about number one, how the majority of that dollar goes to the people you serve and how only the tiniest amount, and it better be less than 10%, goes to administrative costs. Did you hear me? You want to get donors? You show how 100% of what they're giving goes to the people that you're helping, or that there's such a small amount that goes to paperwork. No one wants to give you $1 for all the paperwork. No one wants to give your nonprofit $1 to help go buy a printer. What they want in their head is that their dollar is feeding some starving child. Their dollar is putting a shirt on someone's back. The key to getting donors is to talk about what the percentage of your donation goes to help those and how many people it helps. So I hope that helps. I know that went a little longer than I normally would, but hopefully there's a few nonprofits out there who will get that. Remember, people will tell you or will do what you tell them to do. Adjectives paint mental pictures, okay? Really dress it up good, not just stupid, but a mental picture. Use words, and if you need help with that, go back and look at your favorite book you ever read. You will see adjectives everywhere, and it creates a mental picture, not just blue, sky blue. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look at how they describe things. And like we said earlier, exclamation points imply excitement. And that's what people want. They want to be excited about a purchase. Now, don't overuse them. And I'll be honest, don't use more than one. Whenever you use 3 exclamation points, it minimizes those who use 1 exclamation point. Silly, right? Here's some other words that will benefit you. I like don't miss, the 2 words don't miss, like don't miss out. Don't miss this special. Because basically you're using what we call FOMO, the fear of missing out. That's what FOMO means. Fear of missing out. Every one of you has the fear of missing out on something, missing out on a discount, missing out on a deal. No one wants to pay full price. So I like the words don't miss. People key in on those 2 words. I like the word because. Now you won't start a sentence this way, but you can definitely include it Because a lot of times people are going to your page, are going looking at your products, and what's going on in their mind? They're asking, why should I buy this? Why should I choose them? Why? The number one question in their head is why. So the more often you use the word because, you're really kind of answering the question in their head, and you're eliminating some of the hesitation. You're eliminating some of the doubt because you're explaining it. Risk-free. That is one of my favorite two words put together. It's a risk-free offer. Okay. In other words, there's no downside to this. Buying our product, there's no downside. There's no way you can be burned. There's no way you can be hurt. Because that's what people's fear is. Oh my gosh, I'm going to buy this. What a waste. I'm going to waste my money. I'm going to get it and it'll be garbage. And that was a waste. I've lost money. Nope. This is risk-free. Risk-free. And when you use those words, it helps to lower people's what? Trust barrier. Limited. Remember, we talked about urgency, and you've seen this. So the Home Shopping Network is the king of this. Okay. If you ever watch Home Shopping Network, I highly recommend you do if you want to learn marketing. What do? They have a countdown timer on how many of these products are left. What are they trying to do? They're trying to get you to purchase now. Urgency. Because we're running out. You ever see the words limited time offer? You ever see limited to the first 100 people who come through the door? That's what we're talking about. The only reason they're saying that, it's not because they only have that many to give out of whatever it is. It's that they want you to come in now. If you think you can get the same discount a week from now, you won't come in today. The only way you come into my store today is if you think you can only get that deal today. Only for. I love this because you're basically calling it exclusive. This is only for people who understand art. This is only for experts. This is only for music lovers. This is only, they're basically putting you into an exclusive group. People want to feel exclusive. They want to feel special. They want to feel unique. And when you basically create a group of people and make them the successful ones, and then include who you're trying to reach, you too, only for people who get the value here, only for experts in this field, only for, I'm telling you, it works. Okay, questions on anything I've gone over? And yeah, it was a lot. I know I went over a lot, but the entire presentation is coming to you. So I thank Leslie
Yes,
for
we
that.
did. We don't have any questions, and we have a couple minutes to type in the questions, but we did have Rona saying, this is so good. Thank you for sharing the ideas for nonprofits. Very helpful. So they had very happy about that. And
Good.
before any questions come in, I want to tell you that we have Eric again coming up this week, and it is small business websites, 10 mistakes you must not make.
Mhm.
And when you were talking about the action words, I just kept thinking of action words. So
Exactly. Every one of
yeah,
my titles incorporates what I'm teaching you today. Okay. You could probably look at all the titles of all the videos I've done here and all the presentations I've done and be able to pick apart what I did there. Okay.
and Serena says, thank you, very helpful.
Thank you, Serena. And thank you, Monica, for asking all those great questions.
Was awesome. That is our time for today, everyone. We really want you to visit nmsvdc.org for any information that you might need. We want you to visit our YouTube channel to see Eric with all his great webinar series, because again, it always builds one right after another. It all builds together. Monica, awesome. I'm going to go. Wait a minute. You got lots of chats coming in. Let me see if I can grab them. I am going to go and watch all of Eric's past webinar series. Rona, thank you so much. SPDC is our chamber's greatest hero. And with
Oh,
last words, Eric, I'm going to pop everyone off when you get done.
okay. The key here is to actually do it. Look at what you're currently doing now and just try to change one word here and one word there, and you will be amazed and how it affects the results.
Absolutely. All right, everyone, you guys are dismissed for today. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.